Hello, and welcome to another riveting episode of The Devil's Advocate. I'm your host, Mitchell Drayton, and today we're diving into a world of cinematic what-ifs. Ever watch a movie and wonder what you would do if the script were flipped? Well, now's your chance. Chime in, share your thoughts, and let's unravel those alternate realities together. Don't forget to check out the polls, drop your comments, and hit the notification bell so we can stay in touch. And let's have a fantastic time. Let's go. All right, we are back with another one. Today's movie is going to be Waiting. Now, this one came out in the early 2000s, around 2006. For those that know it, it's probably a really good movie that you love. This movie I'm watching again, and it is the same. Like it holds over time. It's I guess a classic for me. Now, this movie has to do with the food industry, and it's not going to be so much of a what if, because some of these scenarios do typically happen, or at least you hear rumors of them happening. It's more of should it happen? Is it something that you believe is a necessary response to how people act, even back in the day up until today's standards? So when this movie starts off, of course, it's about a trainee. He just got hired on by the we'll call him the hot stuff manager. At least he thinks that way. Other people don't about him. And he has Ryan Reynolds, which is one of the stars, one of the many stars in this movie, has him show him the ropes. Now, Ryan Reynolds has been pretty much the same character in all of his movies for the most part, unless it's like a drama, where he has a certain personality. Now, imagine him showing a new person the ropes. This is, from beginning to end. So this movie is like one full day in the life of a service worker, so like a waiter and waitress. And they show him some very unsavory things that they do. And we won't go into depth on that one. I don't think it's necessary, but we'll just say they do some very unsavory things that make life at work there more tolerable, and they have a better time, which in the movie they said was a turning point to make that hotel, the restaurant, better. So they noticed that the workers were having a better time at work, so therefore it brought more customers in, and so they continued to do it. Before that, they were losing customers until that game was started. So that's one reason to go and look at the movie if you have not before. So other than the new trainee throughout this entire movie, it's a great payday for him. So literally this actor probably said about 10 words until the end of the movie. So essentially, you're just looking at him making all the facial responses to things that are happening around him, and the normal thing of people being forced to go through some long behind training. For him in this movie was a VHS tape. For most of us today, it would be some other type of video in the back room, but you have to suffer through it, but at least you get paid for it, right? The first, I guess, dilemma is going to be how customers act towards service workers in that type of industry at restaurants, right? So one was a pretty demanding male who ordered the food for the wife. We don't hear from the wife, like the camera angle is just on him, and he's pretty demanding about what he wants because he's like, I'm paying for this. I'm going to get what I want out of it, right? And at the end, his tip to the waiter was less than $1. Now, I don't know how you feel, but I would say that the service that was given did not constitute less than $1. So he approached him. He said, "This must be a mistake. This is you left this." He said, "Nope, it's all there, buddy. That rest of that's a tip for you." And he said some choice words before the guy went out. And of course, the customer didn't like that and demanded, to talk to the manager and wanted a whole bunch of coupons and stuff of that nature. But what do you think? You think for somebody that is working in the food industry as a waiter or waitress, that if they give good, I guess, customer service, they take down the food, they go and get it, and they bring it back, they refill your drinks, every request that you have, they fill that, I guess, void for you. Do you believe that anything less than $1, should constitute you kind of getting the raw end of the stick? Someone should have the, I guess, ability to come and tell you a couple of choice words about your inability to leave them a bigger tip. So that's one. And what do you think, or how do you think people should tip when it comes to the food industry alone? Do you think there should be a standard practice? And I say that because in America, we do tip. There are other countries that do not tip. So I want to see what you think. So put that in the comments. And as always, ask those people around you that listen to the same podcast and see what they have to say. Now, the other customer that comes in, because this is going to be a various of customers, right? So he's pretty demanding, but he's not rude about it. He just didn't leave a big tip. The next one is going to be, how can I say? She's in a suit, and there's 4 of them there, but she's the only one that is very boisterous, and she is very condescending as she talks to the waitress, to the point where she is not wanting to bring the food out to any of them because she just can't take it. So she asks Ryan Reynolds, he obliges, he goes out there, and she is just as rude to him as she was to the waitress. And so in this typical fashion, he was told to take the food back because the steak was supposed to be medium, and it came out medium well. Now, I'm not a big steak eater, and for me, I probably couldn't tell the difference. Anything medium in there, it's probably going to taste pretty good, but she was very specific and very demanding, but condescending on top of that, so she took it up a notch more than the previous customer. So Ryan Reynolds takes the food to the back, and he asked the waitress, he was like, yep, what do you think about this customer? Thumbs up or thumbs down? She says, nope, she was, B, the female dog. And so she did a thumbs down. So they all got happy and they went through the gauntlet with that food. There was some spit that was put into the mashed potatoes and the gravy. There was some, I can't remember what they called it. I think it was sea salt, which was in the form of dandruff. There were some other garnishments that came from the, we'll call them honorable mentions area. And it was all displayed so that she could not tell what was coming from. And they brought it back out there, and he stood by as he watched her take the first bite from her food. And she was very happy with herself that she got exactly what she wanted. As the staff was very happy that she got exactly what she deserved, I guess, on their part. Now, do you think that something like that is necessary? Do you think that that's right? Or do you think there's just, black and white? That's wrong, and it should have never happened in the first place. I'd love to know what you think about that one. And as we go throughout the movie, there's another one where one of the guys, the waiter's friend, comes in. He's the last customer. They had like 5 minutes to go. He snuck in there. He did serve him. He's I'm not going to not serve him just because I know him from school. And the guy goes on and talks about the customer, about how much he was doing good outside of high school and everything, and how he's making a lot of money. And he's asking, hey, look, what are you doing? And he felt some kind of way, felt as though he didn't get as far in life as his friend did. And, it kind of, you could tell on his face, it made him feel a little distraught. And then when the friend was leaving, he noticed that the friend gave $100 bill for a $31 meal between him and the lady he had brought in. Same thing. He walked back up to him before he got. He's like, "This must be a mistake. You left a $100 bill." He's like, "No, it's all there for you." And he said, "Well, the bill is only 31." He's like, "Yep, I just figured you needed it more than I did." Now, there probably could have been a better way for him to put that, and it made him feel some kind of way. He still took it. The friend walked out the door, and I think that was the turning part where he was kind of like, "Yeah, I'm not going to take this assistant manager job. I can do better." And that, of course, it probably made other people feel happy with his choice. But do you think he should have approached this guy, being that he gave him $100, which pretty much came out to like a 68.72, whatever, type of tip? Or should he have just been happy that someone gave him that type of tip and just went through his day? I don't know what I would have done other than just being elated about the fact that someone gave me that type of tip. But what do you think? Do you think somebody should have approached, or you think the waiter should have approached him and said that this must be wrong? Or should he have just taken it, being that the individual, he would have never got that conversation about needing it more than he did, even though it probably would have been implied. But I would have just taken it as they appreciated me for who I was before and who I am now. And they just decided to, hey, this was the right time to give back because I'm able to. So as always, I'd love to hear what you have to say. So go ahead and give this podcast a thumbs up, depending on where you're at listening to it or how you're listening to it. And I'd love to hear from you. That wraps up this episode of The Devil's Advocate. I'm your host, Mitchell Drayton. Thanks for diving into the What If with me. Now it's your turn. Drop your thoughts, hit hit the polls, leave a comment, and keep the conversation going, people. Until next time, stay curious and stay questioning.